Um,
People to see. Hi, everyone, and welcome to Soul School Network. I'm Greg. I'll be hosting our discussion today. This is really an open mic session, and we're going to be talking about something I think a lot of people have thoughts about, particularly those, and particularly since seeing the movie The Matrix. Uh, Today, we're going to be talking about Earth School and or the Matrix. Are we in a Matrix? Are we in a simulation? Or is this something else? Is this an Earth School where we are sent to learn and to advance our spiritual beings? We'll find out potentially in this discussion. So before we get started, let's do a little grounding meditation. And we have Koryanka on video to bring us into the session, really, and make sure that we're firmly planted on the earth for this discussion on Matrix slash Earth School. Sue will line up the old videotape for us and we'll get started.
Here we go.
Lie down or sit in a comfortable position. To start, you might close your eyes if that feels good.
Uh-oh. I don't know how that happened. My apologies.
Take 3 deep, relaxing breaths. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. One more time. In through the nose, out through the mouth. We'll start scanning our bodies for any tension there might be. Starting at the head. We'll do this together. We'll just observe without making any meaning out of it. Scan the crown of your head, the back of your head, your face and neck, your shoulders, one arm and then the other, all the way down to your hands. Now your back, from the neck all the way down to the final bone of the spine. You can focus your attention now on your chest and your abdomen. Are there any sensations so far? Any muscle tension? Just observe it for now. Continue with your right leg and foot and your left leg and foot. Wherever you found tension, let it go gently by visualizing that it is a white cloud that slides down your body all the way to your feet, leaving your body through the soles of the feet. Perhaps there will be many clouds of tension leaving your body. That's great. You're letting them go. You can feel good about it. Once tension is out of your body, it will be gone and transformed into life-giving energy. Let's take a deep, relaxing breath. In through the nose, out through the mouth. Let it feel good. You can stretch your body and make sure you are comfortable wherever you are. You are a beloved child of God and the earth, deeply connected to her. Notice how your feet are planted on the ground, either physically or energetically at all times. Feeling the earth with the soles of your feet. Feel how your energy grows and extends itself from the soles of your feet towards Mother Earth. You are growing energetic roots that go into the moist, rich soil under your feet, uniting with the Mother, receiving nourishment and love from her. The more your roots extend and go deeper and deeper into the earth, the more you feel deeply grounded and held in love by Mother Earth. Stay present in this moment. You can feel it. Remain grounded and present in this moment. Grounded and present. Grounded and present. You can gently go back to your breathing. In through the nose, out through the mouth. In through the nose, out through the mouth. And one more time. Now you can slowly open your eyes when it feels good to you, and move your body slowly as you come back. Enjoy a beautiful day.
Thank you so much, Koryanka. Of course, that is Koryanka, the digital version. She'll be here with us in 2 weeks when we will be featuring basically an interview with her. The subject is still under negotiation or in discussion, but I'll be able to have a chance to interview her along with all of you in 2 weeks' time. So please join us for that. Welcome back to Soul School Network. I'm Greg. I'd like to welcome everyone here on Zoom with us. I see we've had a couple of others join us. And we're, of course, discussing an interesting topic where there are a lot of opinions. This is on whether we're living in sort of a digital matrix, a simulation of some kind, or is this, Earth School, maybe something that others would describe as a creation of God, a creation of the Creator. And so we're looking forward to discussing those differences of opinion and whether there's a combination of them. What reality do you feel that you're living in at this in this lifetime? And so let's open the floor up and see if anyone wants to kick things off. Is there anyone here? Well, Vinaya, you've put your hand up already, and that makes me very happy as the person to kick things off. So please share with us what your sense is on this subject.
Okay, so when I look at all these postulated possibilities, a matrix, a computer game, a school, whatnot, there I found I was like a little bit looking into this because I was curious. And if I really look at all the reasons and arguments everybody has about each of these possibilities, in my book, they could be all true. So, on top of that, then I realized it doesn't matter to me if I'm in a school, in a computer simulated reality, in a dream, or what have you. The one thing which is important to me is I'm here. And so if it's a school or a computer game, I don't know, but I'm experiencing this reality, whatever that is. And if it's this or that, doesn't really matter because I need to, or not, I don't need to, but it's beneficial if I just take it as it is and go the steps I feel are right for me to do, go into the direction this or that, or do this or that, and just be consciously, constantly, if possible, we fall out of it, aware about what is actually really happening and what this experience is. So after that, everything is way more relaxed, and I don't need to try to figure out what this is because it is in my reality, in this life, this is what I experience. That's my 5.5 cents to that.
Now, Vinaya, when you say that, you've had a huge number of experiences in learning, focusing your whole life on really the journey of learning about spiritual paths and
Yeah.
basically identifying your own. Have you had any experiences where you would say that this this matrix idea could be true?
Well, if I look at the story of the movie, The Matrix, there are non-participant characters and they're just the background noise. And they make the display nice. And if I look around on planet Earth, um, I would say that 80% at least are non-participating characters. They just go through the moves and yeah, they're just background noise and they're not really, well, I don't know what they are, but so I think like the Matrix makes a good possibility. And
Okay.
if it's a computer game in that sense, which would be the Matrix as well in a certain way, yeah, we have to go through some dungeons. So there would be the school.
Right.
We have to become aware of certain things and step up, so to speak, even though in my book it's more like remembering who we really are because we are perfect the way we are right now. And just becoming aware of that would be a stepping up, but it's not really a stepping up because we are already this. Just being more aware about it and conscious.
Now, when you Michael likes that clearly. When you when you think about it as potentially a matrix, I would suggest that it's a one-time through kind of thing. The characters in the game, if you will, are there for the game. Do you still see real value in developing your character? If I can put it that way.
Well, for me, it's like I am the weird character I am already. And I don't know if that could be any better or if I could level up to something else. Um, and yeah, it doesn't, it's somewhat everything, nothing like this doesn't really matter to me because I'm here. And wherever I get to, I will get to, following my heart, probably to the most beneficial place I can be. If that's like higher or better or another level, again, it doesn't really matter. It's like I'm here, I'm experiencing it, I'm enjoying life, I'm celebrating being here, whatever reason. Um, it's Osho. This is the only one really quote I often do is like, life is a mystery. It cannot be understood, but it can be lived. And that's basically where I'm at. And so even if it's just a dream, it feels real, like in a dream. When I'm in a dream, it's absolutely bloody real. I feel the pain, I'm angry, I'm happy, and this and that. And then I wake up and I'm like, oh, there was a dream. Apparently, this is a dream, some people argue. And like in the dream we have in this dream, it is real. So, for all practical purposes, this is real in this moment, even if I'm dreaming it. When I wake up, I will figure out if that was a good dream or not. It was
Yeah.
definitely an exciting dream.
Yeah, and I like the idea that you suggest. It's a mystery, and being that way is the best way, because not knowing would be, I think, in many ways better than knowing for sure one way or the other. Uh, does anyone else want to weigh in on this subject, maybe with a stronger opinion on one side or the other? I have a feeling Celicia wants to weigh in here and is looking for the thumbs up button. Celicia,
Sure,
would you like to join in?
sure. So it's been many years since I've seen that movie, The Matrix, and I'm not quite sure what that means in terms of is the Earth a matrix? But how I see myself on Earth is I do view Earth as a prison because I'm constantly comparing it to memories I have of being in another space, realm, dimension. And I've heard other people describe the same place or a similar place, which is, it's for me, I remember it just being a black space, almost pitch black. And I do remember seeing um, maybe like 5 shades of blue, but a very, very tiny amount. And in that space, I felt I was at a neutral, at a zero. I'm not warm, I'm not cold, I'm not hungry, I'm not full, I'm not tired, I'm not excited, I'm just neutral. And there's no attachment, there's no wanting to do something, needing to do something, feeling inadequate, feeling like there is something to do or something that I want. Everything is okay. And I also have a memory of being in front of some beings now in a very, in a room, but in a room where I can't sense the edges because it's so white, so bright. And it seemed very scientific. It seemed very formal and very geometric. And the way I was in front of the beings was in a geometric pattern. It was very mathematical. And they asked me if I would volunteer to come to Earth as a living sacrifice. And almost in the same moment when they asked me, I remembered a past life here on Earth where I was part of a genocide. I was on the side of the ones committing the genocide. And incredible guilt and shame came over me, so much so that I said, yes, I want to come back. I guess I viewed it in that moment as a way that I can redeem myself, where I can have a replay, a chance to do that again. Because when I was in the genocide, I didn't speak up. I did not say anything. and it was killing me on the inside. And I don't feel like I could have changed the situation, but I felt like I should have at least have told the truth and been authentic and spoke up for those people, spoke up for against what I felt was wrong. And I didn't. I was a coward. And that degree of guilt and shame was the reason why I said I would come back this time. But why I view it as a prison, which may also be what people mean when they say a matrix, is because if I retained the feeling, the condition, the state of being that I had in the void, if I retain that in that moment and retain that fullness and that wholeness and that sense of everything is okay, there's not a shot in hell I would have said I would come here. It was being in front of those beings somehow in that moment. There was something that happened that made me come here. And when I'm here now, I am constantly trying to get back to my home where I was, that neutral place. So why I view it as a prison, as instead of a school, is because I remember it's going backwards. It's starting from a place of wholeness and fullness and knowing and being totally okay and erasing all of that. And now I'm in this life trying to learn how to be full and whole and get back to a place of peace. I'm not sure if I answered your question. I'm gone off on a tangent.
Well, it's what you've done is basically talk about how this could very well be a matrix within something else bigger. I'm just curious, when did you have these realizations or these thoughts of this idea of being in a genocide situation and then coming to um, this place? Was that as a child?
No. So I'm 40. So when I was in college, around the age of 19, 20 years ago, I got very, very sick. And my entire state of how I was, my energy level, everything flipped 180. And I ended up retreating from the world. I was not able to speak with people anymore. I was not able to go outside. I was not able to remember parts of my life. I wasn't able to remember what I did earlier that day. Everything became very fragmented. My entire reality, it became distorted. It was difficult for me to function on a basic level. And at that point, very naturally, I grew up basically in a Christian household where one God is worshipped. But basically, what happened is I started calling out to them. It was a knee-jerk reaction. And I said, listen, I'm not able to do anything here on earth. I'm physically incapable. So I cannot do any type of work or service. So just send me home because the point of me being here, it's pointless. And I heard something over and over again. They said, um, send yourself home, say the words. And every single night I would go to sleep and I would dream that I would not wake up because it was torture living. And I would just dream of going home. And when I dreamed of going home, I dreamed of that place I described earlier, that void. And and so in the middle of dreaming of going home and envisioning going home and calling out to them, I also started having memories of being in front of four beings. and I was standing there, I believe in a body, not floating around like Casper. And that's when they had asked me, I remember, asked me if I had wanted to come here as a living sacrifice. So that's when I remembered when I was going through this very um, complete spiritual, physical, psychological upheaval during that period.
Thank you so much for sharing that. So you're basically at the 40 mark in your life. And that was at 20. So you've had some time to really reflect on it and also, come to terms with what it all means. Sarah, would you like to jump in and maybe jump off at that point with your thoughts?
I would love to. Yes. Thank you so much for your share. I'm really excited to. I'm going to lower the hand here. I'm not sure how to pronounce your name. Celicia?
Silesia.
Silesia, wonderful to meet you. And I'm
Likewise,
just
Sarah.
really excited to share from that. I recently, basically, the part where you said, where you see Earth as a prison. I recently found this book. There's a Tibetan center near Woodstock, New York, in the Catskills, and it's sort of like a Tibetan thrift. And they have these books, and you can just make a donation and grab whatever one of the books. And I found this amazing book by Bo Lozoff. I'll just put it in the chat here. Let me just copy paste it for everyone. The book
Thanks for
is
doing that.
called Dun Dun Dun. The book is called We're All Doing Time. And it, oh, that's a huge link, but anyway, it takes you there to the book. Highly recommend. Bo works with prisoners, with people who are incarcerated, and he teaches them meditation and pranayama breathing exercises and essentially martial art to, I don't know if anyone has ever heard of the cartoon The Last Airbender. It's the Avatar, not the blue people avatars. I'm gonna get to the blue people in a minute. It's this boy named Aang, and he's frozen for 100 years. And then he breaks out of the ice, and he's the last airbender. And everyone in this narrative learns how to work with the elements, earth, air, fire, water. And without the airbender, humanity cannot be saved. And so he he can fight the fire people who are trying to take over the earth by destroying humanity, and the airbender knows how to deflect it. And some of you may know I do stand-up comedy. I do stand-up comedy because if I don't laugh, I will die. I'm extremely sensitive. I need to laugh. I have to laugh. And getting up there and helping others laugh, it just opens, it breaks the black magic. It breaks the darkness that whatever these dark forces are trying to throw over us, like a net or a blanket of fog. And I get some of the best jokes when I'm falling asleep, which is, oh, I gotta get up and write it down. And I had this, it occurred to me the other day, how can we be successful in our relationships with our loved ones? How can we create harmony in our home and the ones we care about the most? And it's simple, become the last airbender. That's all you got to do. And it really relates to Bo Lozoff's techniques. It's, and the reason the book is called We're All Doing Time is even though it's he's working with prisoners, we're all imprisoned. We're all locked in by not learning how to become an airbender, not learning how to work with our breath and work with the soul star or the I am presence. On the drive up north here to the Adirondacks, I was reading from the book New Cells, New Body, New Life by Virginia Essene. And there's a chapter from Barbara Marciniak, who wrote Bringers of the Dawn and Family of Light about the Pleiadians, right? And so the way that she describes it, this so-called matrix, is that Earth itself is an experiment where we are to be in our cosmos and galaxy a living library of every species in the cosmos. That the key thing about Earth is consciousness, that there's consciousness in everything that Dad speaks of a lot from doing ceremony is the earth, air, fire, water. So the rock has consciousness, the tree has consciousness, everything has consciousness. And this is the living library. So our origin creators were of the light. And what happened was because Earth is unique in our cosmos of as this living library, nowhere else in our cosmos has everything in one place that's vibrating and speaking and literally like a library. And so if you're from the family of light, you have your library card, you can go into the library and you can take out the book or the information that is stored in each rock, feather, tree, water. This is what, the Hopi, the Lakota, the et cetera, the tribes that Dad works with and has brought into our life with working with the elders, is they remind us of this key. And what Barbara Marciniak is talking about, I highly recommend a revisit of her work because it can be quite challenging to comprehend with our logic minds this idea of these beings coming in and unplugging us. They don't know how to read the living library. They don't have the card. So their way of trying to harvest from us is by unplugging what is our DNA. So our DNA has 12, originally had 12 functioning helixes and only has two now. So we've been disassembled. And the key through meditation, pranayama, working with the elements is to plug these back in. And another note there, this idea of I loved with Vinyaya? Vinyaya.
Hang on. Vinaya.
Vinaya. Thank you so much, Vinaya. I want to get it right. I love this idea you were talking about, I'm here. It is. I'm following my heart. And what that really reminded me of is frequency, vibration. Because this is another thing that the Pleiadians talk about is that there are multiple realities happening simultaneously. And whichever one you think is real is real. And you can place yourself wherever you want. So, as Mother Earth is ascending into her new future of work smoothly, lifetime peace, this more elevated, freeing ourselves. While that is happening, all this other dark stuff is also happening. And so it's about freeing ourselves from that vibrating where all that darkness is going on. There is something else going on in the other dimensions and the higher. So that our thing is that we need to anchor ourselves. We need to eyes to the stars, feet on the earth, right? And they also speak about the chakra system, the seven chakras. As we activate, it grows so that there's chakras high above and below going deep into the earth and activating these things. So this whole idea of, these dark memories, I don't want to label them as dark, but this idea of feeling like you know, doing something that you didn't want to take part in and it's hard to look at and I think that that is extremely real. It's also connected to these beings that are not our origin creators. So they're like coming in and they're throwing this blanket of fog and trying to rearrange. And Earth is actually the only one in our cosmos that thinks we're the only one in the cosmos. Everyone else or every other being or planet is aware that there is other life. And Earth is like, could there be life out there? And it's like, well, you're not plugged in. You're, we, I was reading it out loud to my partner, this stuff about the octaves. And when it came to if you are reading this and it's resonating with you, you are of the family of light. And I was getting emotional and he's looking at me like, this is, it can seem quite out there. It really resonates with me. And so whether or not people know these things, I don't think Like, I don't think we need to know specifically about the 12 helixes of DNA. I don't think we need to know about these origin creators and then these unknowns coming in. And we don't necessarily need to know all of this information. Information, right? It's information forming. That's what we are. We're creators. We're from the creator. We're part of creation. We're creative beings. And so, what we're speaking, what we're feeling, what we're thinking, this is why mantra is so important. The I am presence, calling that in, working with the violet fire, working with when I wake up also in the middle of the night and the tape starts playing of what happened in the past, what am I going to do in the future? I put that on pause and I do the beloved I am presence bright, round me seal your tube of light, from ascended master flame, call forth now in God's own name. Let it keep my temple free from all discord sent to me. I am calling forth violet fire to blaze and transmute all desire, keeping on in freedom's name till I am one with the violet flame. That's just one. Dad knows them as well. We all know them for many, many years. And I do this to replace that tape that's playing, to be, that from ascended master flame, that idea that there are masters, there are beings like Aang, like the last airbender, that are with us as guides, that carry this flame for us, that we can connect to that flame, activate that flame within, and then through the pranayama and the breathing and the spine, think just a closing thought, because I could just go on. I'll pass over the mic. Another thing that she mentioned was about, the architecture that we're using in time. Look at the architecture of the cities now, and then look at the Egyptian architecture. Look at the what the Egyptians left for us as far as symbolism and cues. A friend of the family asked recently at my younger sister Alura's wedding, what does the ankh mean to you? What does the staff mean to you? And they're always carrying this staff. And it was a great question because you can't easily be answered. It's something to contemplate. It's something to, the staff that they carry, it could represent the spine, it could represent the serpent. And we have all this equipment that isn't being properly used. And so to activate that, and, we're all doing time to free ourselves from that idea.
Thank you, Sarah. I think you probably helped Alicia in many ways with that dissertation and also with the link to the book. The fact that you're both in New York makes me think maybe one day you'll be sitting together working through things. And I love the fact that you reflected what Vinaya said, which is we don't need to know everything. We're not here to have the answers necessarily, but to have the experience and be in this place for a good reason. Who else would like to jump in and maybe talk about the Earth School side of things? I think we've really had a great discussion so far.
Michael's
I'd
hand
like to
is
hear
up,
about.
right?
Okay, I couldn't see it because of the sunshine and the fact that Michael's such a light being. Michael, please go ahead.
Thank you. Thank you. Sarah, that's exceptional. Really good stuff. Really good stuff. There's no doubt in my mind we're in a matrix. There's no doubt. I mean, just the signals are all there. You can go back to the assassination of Abraham Lincoln, go to the assassination of John Kennedy, go to 9/11, go to the COVID hoax, go to all of the things that the matrix puts upon humanity. From my perspective, the puppets who run the world are under the orders of aliens, and the aliens reside in the inner earth, and they have an agenda, and it's fully on humanity, fully. fully on humanity, no doubt about it. But as Vinaya said, it doesn't matter because it's a mystery. Life is a mystery. And go and read the Bhagavad Gita. Read the Bhagavad Gita and understand what Krishna was saying to Arjuna. And what was Krishna? Krishna was an informed deity, a being who was sent by those of the light to enlighten us, to assist us in the schoolhouse called the Mother Earth. We're here to overcome. We're not here to understand completely. Understanding means to stand under something. So understand yourself. First and foremost, understand yourself. Sat, Chit, Ananda. Sat, eternal existence. Chit, eternal consciousness. Ananda, eternal bliss. That's what we come from. When you describe the void, you describe something neutral. It's not neutral. It is filled with intelligence, information, knowledge, wisdom. That's where we came from. We come from the central spiritual sun as a spark from the central spiritual sun. And we're sent out into the cosmos to experience in order that we can become love, which requires inner work. And the inner work is something called yoga, union with the soul. And there are 8 means of yoga. There are the commandments, which is yama. There are the rules, which are niyama. There is posture. There is breath. There is abstraction. There is meditation. There is contemplation. And there is samadhi. So within the 8 means of yoga, the work is shown to us. It is shown what work we need to do, and it's inner work. Yama, the 5 commandments, are completely harmlessness, truth to all beings, abstention from avarice, theft, and incontinence. Niyama are the 5 rules, internal and external purification, fiery aspiration, and contentment. Ooh, there's a rough one. Contentment. And this is exactly what Vinaya said. I am content with who I am, where I am, and what I am. That is exciting. And the next 2 are spiritual reading and devotion to Ishvara. And Ishvara is God consciousness. Babaji, Paramhansa Yogananda. These are beings that laid a path for us to follow in order to understand how we become love and compassion. The word equanimity stands on the ground of freedom and wisdom and is the protector of love and compassion. When you begin to think about your existence, knowing that you come from eternal existence, you live in eternity. That's why it doesn't matter. That's why it doesn't matter, because you live in eternity. You know, we were all genociders. We were all murderers. We were all robbers. Each and every one of us. We've all lived the existence of the dark. Every one of us. And now look at where you are now. You're at Soul School Network. You're not on an encrypted phone talking about moving cocaine from South America to Washington. You're on Soul School Network. And you're on Soul School Network because there's something inside of you that Sarah spoke about, which is a divine flame. And that divine flame exists in each and every one of us. I'm so excited that I get up every morning and fan that flame. I'm so excited that I get up every morning and be in gratitude that I overcame an illness that could have taken me out prematurely, because I wouldn't be here talking to you right now. But I'm in great gratitude that I moved beyond that. But what did it teach me? It gave me a gift. And the gift it gave me was surrender. Surrender to what is, not what has been, not what will be, but what is. I highly recommend the movie Being There. If I've ever seen a movie that has more comedic value and has a deep, deep message, it's the movie Being There with Peter Sellers. Why? Because that's what life is, being there. Don't be a human doing, be a human being. And in being, you will begin to understand how incredibly blessed you are to be here now. Never mind the matrix. The matrix is only there to challenge your ability to go within. How am I going to change the world? By changing myself. By changing myself. When I change myself, I change the world. The Inca taught that essentially the first step in the elevation of consciousness is the elimination of the 7 egos: lust, anger, pride, envy, greed, laziness, and gluttony. And each and every one of us has to deal with the 7 egos. But you can't come along and examine me and say, oh, you're low on greed. Oh, you're low on laziness. No, 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 no. Only I can evaluate where I am on the 100% scale. Buddha, the Master Jesus, Krishna, they were able to eliminate egos so that their consciousness was elevated enough to show the way to humanity. This is why these avatars are sent by the beings of light that Sarah spoke so eloquently about. You know, the wonderful part about the experience of life is Sarah Swinwood and Michael Swinwood are related. And Sarah Swinwood and Susan and Michael, we shared the teachings that Sarah spoke of. The three of us have been blessed to have had incredible individuals: Grandfather William Commanda, Willaru Waita, elders from all over North and South America, who have assisted us to understand why there are wisdom keepers. Wisdom keepers are there to assist you. An elder once said to me, you know, Michael, Mother Earth grants you all the gifts that you need: shelter, gives you the food that you need. Everything that you need comes from Mother Earth. The only thing we have to give back is our behavior. And so be, don't do. Thanks.
Thank you, Michael. And you mentioned you and Sarah and Susan going on this journey together. I just want to mention one thing before I pass things on to Sue. Michael, just as you began to talk, the hummingbird hovered right here in front of me. The big blue one. He's about this wide. He's my favorite. He's been coming around here lately, but Father Commanda is obviously with you.
Well, thank you. Thank you for pointing that out. For us, every time we see a hummingbird, we immediately think of Grandfather William Commanda, because at one point in his life, before he embarked upon the spiritual path, he was deathly ill. And he was on his knees praying that he be delivered from the illness that the doctors had prescribed that he was going to die from. And he was delivered from that illness. But while he was on his knees praying, a hummingbird came to the window and it hit on the window 3 times. And for me, every time I see a hummingbird, I think of Grandfather William Commanda. So thank you very much for saying that, Greg. I really appreciate it.
And Sue, let's hear your words of wisdom today.
Thank you. What a super conversation. And the conversation started with Silesia and I last weekend. And everybody here pretty much knows I don't watch movies, didn't even know there was a movie called The Matrix, and asked Silesia to explain the concept to me. And I realized that different language for similar realities. Um, and so, in the title of the talk today was What Reality Are You Living? And it's takes me to the teaching on the fact that this time around, this cycle on the planet is a mental experiment, that it's the thoughts that are creating our reality. And there really is two main themes that are part of the quote unquote trap we're in. And there's love and there's fear. And the fear vibration really does trap us because we can't see things. And or what we do see is creating a particular reality for us. And and so it does speak to frequency and vibration, love and fear, and then how that is shaping our reality. And so this loop actually, some the Gnostic teachings talk about 108 lifetimes in a 26,000 year cycle. And it speaks about the elimination of the ego, really taming those aspects of ourselves to shift our vibration. And I'm going to share a link to a video that came in the day after the conversation we had that is called Jesus Exposed the Demiurge's Reincarnation Trap, and Only the Chosen Can Escape It. And this idea of all these lifetimes and cycles kind of picks up on what Silesia said around, if she had been in a different state, she would have chosen differently. And we all can be in a more awake place between lifetimes that could affect our choices based on the vibration of love and fear representing ego, really. And so this work, which is why I resonate with the idea of a school, is simply because I see that the curriculum's all in front of us to do this raising of our vibration. And so, the idea of sacrifice is like sacrificing the ego, sacrificing the personality, these parts of ourselves that keep us asleep to these teachings we receive, these Eastern teachings, particularly that we have followed. We can learn from these teachings and grow and expand our consciousness, and then this shapes our reality of our future. And so I think that within this is this idea of the Kabbalah and the idea of being very high awake beings and coming down into these various experiences and experiments. In some cases purposefully, like Baba Ji coming to be of service, versus coming here asleep, getting in the trap, in the cycle, and not knowing how to get out of it. And so this is where I think about the innocence of humanity and the ability to be with one another and understanding the influences that we're under, and all the ways we separate from each other through even words like, is it Earth School? Is it Matrix? Is it this way? Is it that way? Where I want to really embrace the word maybe in all things, because I don't know. I can't say for sure. I can say what I've learned and what resonates with me. And so I think this idea of self-remembrance and this raising of consciousness, I came upon something recently that said our purpose is to love, to heal, and to console. And it so resonated with me because of how painful it is to be asleep, and to think it's about a third dimensional reality. Like, wow, imagine if I thought that everything was about how much money I had or how much success I had in business or something. That would be so painful. And yet I would be very innocent in doing that. Like Vinaya said about, the 80% that are sort of like non-participating characters. It's a lot of suffering in that. I love that Sarah spoke about the violet fire, because this morning I put lavender essential oil on the soles of my feet and at my third eye, because the lavender essential oil is about surrounding you in the violet fire and holding that vibration. And so there's, things we do that help us with our vibration, essential oils, homeopathy, other things that can really help us. So in any case, I love the conversation because I don't think anybody's actually seeing it any differently. I think we're actually really harmonized, and we understand the quote unquote conundrum, if you will, of humanity and all the possibilities we have to get out of the trap. And so I'm just going to share this this link so you have it if you're interested to hear the suggestion. And I think what we have to be careful in the title is there this idea of, oh, I'm a chosen one. We're all chosen. Like, no one's not chosen. It's really like, what do you want to do this go round, this time? And you could escape the loop through the consciousness raising activities that are all available to us. So I'm going to share that, and thanks for listening. Greg, did we lose
Go
you?
ahead, Vin. Go ahead, Vinaya.
Vinaya? Yeah.
Well, I just could make an hour time because we are still holding a retreat space for some participants here. And I just wanted to express my gratitude for all of you. And yeah, let's talk all the time. I could talk for days, but so can you, I guess. But thank you so much. And until next time, I hope. Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank you, Vinaya.
Vinaya.
And thank you, everyone. I think we've had a great discussion here, and it's really been eye-opening for me, and also a very positive experience. So, thank you. I thought maybe it would become Matrix versus God, and was anything but that. Thankfully. So let's wrap up here at the roughly the hour mark. Uh, Sue, would you like to do the mantra of unification for us, just to send us out in love?
Susan, you're muted.
Thank you, honey. The mantra of unification. The souls of all are one, and I am one with them. I seek to love, not hate. I seek to serve and not exact due service. I seek to heal, not hurt. Let pain bring due reward of light and love. Let the soul control the outer form and life and all events, and bring to light the love which underlies the happenings of the time. Let vision come and insight. Let the future stand revealed. Let inner union demonstrate and outer cleavages be gone. Let love prevail. Let all people love. Thank you.
Thank you so much. And thanks, everyone. Thank you also to our viewers on YouTube. We get quite a
Uh,
few. Oh,
I'm
Michael.
sorry. I'm sorry, but a condor just flew right in front of the window. A condor. If
Wow.
you just want any kind of a symbol of where things are at, the condor just flew. There it is, right there. There it is. Look, it's right over the house. It's right over this big tree. Look at it. Look, it's directly in front of the house.
Well, we'll check it out as soon as we sign off here. You're the only one with the view of the front.
Oh my God. All
Thank,
right.
thank you, everyone. Again, thanks to our viewers on YouTube. Please feel free to visit our website, soulschoolnetwork.com. Make a donation there if you feel that it would be something you'd like to support. And we'll see you in 2 weeks with a very special conversation with Corey Anka, one of our facilitators. Thank you, and see you in 2.
Thank you.